Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Hiya Toys DC Injustice 2 video game Batman and Superman figures review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about you.
Take a quick look at these boxes. You can see it says DC Injustice 2 on the side there. The Hiya Toys logo is here on the back. I saw quite a few people on Instagram asking me who makes these, whether or not they're 6-inch or 7-inch or 3 3/4 inch. These are 3 3/4 inch, so if you don't like small figures, as one of the commenters said, then maybe you want to just log off now. But I'm definitely going to be taking a close look at both of these. You can see some artwork on the back. All right, let's get these guys open. All right, so I've got DC's Injustice 2 video game Batman and Superman out of the package. Once again, these are 3 1/4 inch figures. This is from Hiya Toys. And I recently reviewed the Predator figures from Hiya Toys, which actually kind of surprised me how nice those turned out. And they actually photographed pretty nicely as well. These, on the other hand, I don't know. They're not that great in my personal opinion. Nothing really knocking my socks off here, although I am still a bit intrigued or interested in doing some displays with these guys, maybe some MSD stuff. Anytime I get a 3 3/4 inch figure, I want to do something on a smaller, larger scale. On a larger scale with the smaller figures, and maybe have Superman go up against some big robot and, you know, do some perspective stuff. So I am interested with that, but I do feel like these leave a bit to be desired as far as articulation goes, and maybe even like little fine details. So let's look at Superman closely first. I've never played any of the Injustice video games, but from what I can remember, they were critically acclaimed. I think a lot of people did enjoy them. So I do feel like people have been wanting figures from the game. I believe Storm is doing figures from the game as well. I'm not sure which game it was, if it was 1 or 2. Let me know in the comments how you guys really like those games, and whether or not, you know, figures is something that is appealing to you. But taking a close look at Superman here, from what I can tell, his costume looks pretty accurate. He's got the big S on the chest. And, you know, just looking at him here, it's not a bad looking figure. And I do feel like the head sculpt looks pretty accurate to a sort of classic comic version of Superman. It's a little soft, you know, you're not going to get the greatest detail on a 3 1/4 inch figure, but it looks pretty good in my opinion. One of my major gripes with these, though, right off the bat, was that the arms don't go fully to the side here. They kind of stick out. And with Superman, who's supposed to be a more buff guy, for them to, you know, look like this in a vanilla stance is fine, but I still want the options, option to push them in closer, and you don't really have that here. And then the other thing is that this is just a flat piece of material. I feel like if the articulation overall was better, and this had a little bit of bendy wire or some type of feature in the cape, then that would have actually made the figure really, really good. Just those 2 little things would have probably pushed this over the top. But I'll look at the articulation right now. The head and neck is actually one piece. I would assume you might be able to pop this out. I'll try that later. But it's all one piece, so you get him to look down, up, and I wish he could look up a bit more. You know, any character that can fly should be able to look up really far. But nothing hindering the articulation. These little shoulder pads are softer plastic, and they don't hinder the articulation as far as you getting the arms up, but that's pretty much as far as the arms will go. You can actually do full 360 on the arm, again, because this is a soft plastic. Again, one of my issues here is you only get a single jointed elbow that does swivel. There is no upper bicep swivel. You do get a swivel on the wrist, and there is a slight hinge as well, but it's all one part. So it's not your typical hinge, and I don't know how well that may have worked with such a thin sort of wrist and peg. The upper torso articulation is limited. It's not the greatest. You can move them left and right, back and forward a bit. You do get waist articulation, nothing in the abs, ball joints at the hips. Legs will come up just about that far. Upper thigh swivel. You do get a double jointed knee. You get swivel and a hinge on the foot, and you do actually get a nice deep ankle pivot as well. But if he had more articulation in the torso and double jointed elbows and his arms could go down to the side, I think this would have really been a really cool figure. Let's look at his accessories. And I'm an idiot. Correction, the head and neck are two separate pieces, so the head does pop off the neck, but just a few minutes ago the peg was remaining in the head, and I need the peg to remain in the neck to swap on the other head. So let me do some surgery real quick. Yes sir, we're officially back at it. This is literally over a week later that I came back to try to finish up this review, because I got so frustrated with trying to get the ball peg out of the head and have it remain in the neck so I can swap on the other head that I just stopped recording. But I still haven't been able to do it, and I can't find my tool to get it out, so fuck it. Here's a look at the head. I'll just sit it on there. We'll balance it and give you a close look at that. So yeah, that looks pretty good actually. I don't really have an issue with it. It looks like he's evil or about to use his eye beams or something like that, but you know, both the heads are actually okay, but I can't get this damn peg out of this head. So I have one more clip from the original session that I'll show, and then I'll move on into Batman. He is packed in with a couple of fists aside from those open hands, so you can get him into a decent flying pose with his fists out. But again, I wish the head could actually tilt back a bit more. You know, it's just not the greatest articulation, unfortunately. And it should also be noted that both figures are packed in with these little bases. I guess maybe they represent a portion of one of the stages from the game. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. And taking a close look at Batman, pretty much more the same as far as the articulation goes, so I'm not going to go over that. I didn't really show you how Superman splits. He splits better than Batman, though. There is like a barbell joint in there, so Superman's split is a bit wider, while Batman has on some like armored parts here. And out of the package, he comes with these sort of like brass knuckles. I don't know. Let me know what's the deal with these in the game, if they're like kryptonite bands or something. I don't know what they are. But I think overall Superman looks better than Batman. Again, still more the same with just this material with no bendy wire or anything like that. Batman's upper torso articulation may be a little better as well. But Batman does have more hands than Superman. So he's got a set here that looks like this right hand can be utilized to hold his batarangs, I guess. And then he's got a left open hand with the fingers slightly spread. Yeah, there you go. He comes with 3 of these little batarangs. They're red and black. They actually look pretty good. Hope my focus is decent enough here. Hold on. There you go. His head and neck articulation is really good too. How's Batman head and neck going to be better than Superman's? But Superman's is decent. You can see him back there on a little flight stand. But yeah, Batman's packed in with this little grappling gun, which actually looks pretty nice as far as the detail goes. And his finger is almost right in the trigger groove. I guess that's what you can call it. But yeah, he can look up like he's actually about to deploy this. And it should be known that he can hold the grappling gun in either hand too. I ain't got no end of the review display. I'm sorry. This is even like 3 or 4 more days after I recorded those last segments. And I'm moving on. I'm working on the display here. Follow me on Instagram to see my little BTS for this display. And I will say that Superman is probably the standout.